So I'm going to say thanks for tuning in again in a minute, for the simple reason, if you want to skip the talk about Balti bowls, Balti heritage, what a real Balti curry is all about, skip this video for 4 minutes 15 seconds and get straight to the cooking. Hi, hope everyone's safe and well. I really appreciate you joining me today. So we're going to be cooking a traditional Balti. This time I'm going to be using okra on the top left, and on the top right I've got 12 king prawns. All the ingredients are in the description of the video. But first of all, I live in Birmingham, which is home to the Balti, and the Balti's almost worldwide famous now, but many Baltis aren't really Baltis. So let's talk a little bit about Baltis, because they have their own etiquette, not just in terms of the restaurant with the glass tables, the jug of water, the no license, bring your own drinks, but also, more importantly, the Balti dishes. So the Balti dish, or the Balti curry, was invented by the owner of a Dill's restaurant in Birmingham, a restaurant that's still open today, back in 1977, so just a little bit younger than me. And he got the idea from a recent trip to Kashmir in northern Pakistan. So the idea was put into practice when he asked a local metal manufacturer to produce a quantity of Balti bowls. And a Balti bowl is about 3 millimeters thick. We're going to see a selection of Balti bowls in a minute. It's about 3 millimeters thick, so it rapidly cooks. But it's different to a karahai, which is a little bit thicker. So everything's really flash fried. And what's really important about a Balti for the Puritans, and quite rightly so, you know, Birmingham's got a proud heritage of inventing the Balti, and it's one of its cuisine claim to fames. So the application was made in 2015 for European Union protected food name, trying to stop other restaurants calling their dishes Baltis because they were cooked in an aluminium frying pan or a karahai, or they were just cooked in any old pan and then put into a presentation karahai, you know, with the copper edges and the two little pointy triangular handles. So there's, quite rightly so, been some applications made for like a cuisine status to protect it, and I can imagine why a lot of people have resorted to using other bowls to cook it in and not being true to the roots of the real Balti, because Balti bowls, as we're going to have a look in a minute, are quite hard to find. So you go to a lot of restaurants and rice is usually the order of the day when it comes to a curry, but with a Balti it's usually some type of naan or a tandoori roti, which is great for using as a knife and fork, really. It slops up that curry great. But anyway, without further ado, let's get cooking. But first of all, let's just have a look at a selection of Balti pans. So this is my Balti pan collection. I looked high and low. I used to be an area representative. I used to be from Dundee all the way to the south coast in England, and it was really, really hard. I found this in Wingyip in Manchester. I think it was £6. It was the only one left, and I snapped it up like a shot, and it serves 2 portions. Now I've got 1, 2, 3. This is the Birmingham Balti bowl. Yes, it's no doubt it's you know, embroidered or embossed with the logo, which is a bit of a pain, but anyway, it's a trademark. That'll do 1 curry. Quite heavy, nice pan, quite expensive. But when you're talking about cheap, if you want to check any second-hand shops in Sparkbrook, I got these in a shop called Islamic Relief. I think it's a charity shop, for £1.50, and they are some of the best Balti bowls. But anyway, finally, let's get cooking. First of all, let's spark up the flame. I've covered the bottom of the pan with about ½ centimetre of vegetable oil, which is another trait of a good Balti, just typical vegetable oil. Let that heat up. So that didn't take long at all. Let's add the onions, and let's just saute the onions. Always helps to have an oven glove. I like adding the salt to the onions. Give that a good stir. We'll come back in about 40 seconds. Next, we're using fresh okra, so we want that to go in as well. Just going to give that a stir till it's bright green and just carry on cooking it for another minute. So I'm not sure if anybody's been watching my restaurant visits. I might have a number of those videos coming up any day now, perhaps midweek. But a lot of Bangladeshi restaurants, they use everything pre-cooked. But one of the great things about a Balti, it's mostly cooked from fresh, which is really superb. So the okra has softened. So I'm using, this is interesting, ginger and garlic paste, heaped tablespoon, nice and garlicky. You want to taste the garlic. And I'm using 2 cloves of garlic that has been crushed with the flat end of the knife and then chopped. And I'm also going to be adding about 5 green chilies, so nice and spicy. You can use chili powder if you don't have any green chilies, not a problem. Give that a good stir. Next I'm going to add a little bit of chopped red and green pepper. Just stir that to soften it briefly, 1 minute. So if you're not using mixed powder, or if you're not even familiar with mixed powder, I'm using Taste of India's mixed powder. Nearly finished the bag. I'm using about a tablespoon. But you can just use half a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon and a half of coriander, and if you're not using green chilli, like I mentioned earlier, you can use some chili powder, not a problem. So my tomato paste is going in now. All it is about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree with a touch of tandoori masala, that's optional, with some water to make it nice and slushy. I'm going to give that a really good stir now, and it's smelling so fragrant. So that's been about another minute, and the rawness of the tomatoes is nice and cooked out. We've got some oil splitting. Next I'm adding the 12 king prawns that I've got, and I marinate them with a teaspoon of turmeric and salt to taste and a dash of lemon juice. So that's looking nice and vibrant, and trust me, it smells as good as it looks. Now this is really simple. 150ml, so not a lot, of base gravy. I was up at 7 this morning making the base gravy for anybody who watched the video, and just give that a good stir. So base gravy can be quite time consuming to make. It takes about 2 hours. Essentially it's boiled onion, ginger, garlic, spices, some tomato with some oil in it, and you blend it all up after 2 hours of boiling, and it is a really classic staple with a lot of the curry houses in the UK that want a gravy that's already been made in advance, and it tastes really great too. So you can knock up a curry in minutes, just like what I'm doing. Pinch of garam masala, Taste of India garam masala. Wow, I can smell that already. Just give that garam masala a stir. So be careful, do time it. As soon as you put the prawns in, you're talking about 3.5 minutes of cooking time. So in with some chopped fresh coriander and seafood, so just a dash of lemon, and we're just going to give that a stir, and we're just going to sizzle that off. And when I say sizzle it off, you know when you make an omelette, and first of all you put the egg in and it's runny, and then the oil heats up on the pan, and then all of a sudden your omelette's cooked and you can't move the ingredients anymore. That's just what we want in a Balti. That's a really good way to put it. We want some charring around the edges. So another 1.5 minutes, and we're going to come back and serve. I just can't wait to taste this, and we'll have a look at it when we take it off the heat. So that is definitely ready. I can smell light charring around the edges, which is a polite word for burnt, isn't it really? But burnt is a negative word. So let's have a close-up. So there we have it. You can put it onto a plate, make sure it doesn't crack. A little bit of coriander on the top, and there you go. So nice, cooked from scratch, nice and fragrant, fully tasty, Hope you've enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you check out all my other videos. Nearly 900, so I've been a really busy boy for the last 4 years, but I appreciate all your support, all your comments, likes, shares, subscribes. Thank you.